5 strategies of a successful project engineer. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the 5 key things that you got to do as a project engineer if you really want to be successful. And these videos do so well because you care about your job, you want to do well, and this information is great. So if you're into this, stay with us. Let's go ahead and get started. I was a project engineer. I've trained probably thousands. I'll just mention hundreds at this time. I love the position and I learn from them a lot. Let me talk to you about the biggest consideration. Number 1, ask more questions. However many questions you're asking, multiply that by 10 and you're barely to where you need to be when it comes to asking questions. Here's the key, and let me go ahead and draw this. The concept is if you're a project manager and you have a project engineer, you don't know what the project engineer doesn't know. So if you get a question every now and then, great, but what about answering all the questions? If I'm a project manager, I don't care about answering more questions because now I know they know the right way. The other thing as a project engineer, you think if you have assignment A, that you get delegated that task, then you have to be done, start to finish, and that's when you show your project manager and set eyes on it. That is not the way to do it, ladies and gentlemen. You start and you get an iteration and then you check in with the project manager, get their eyes on it. Then you do another iteration, check in with the project manager, get their eyes on it. Multiple iterations faster and you will get to the final product sooner and it will be more correct. You cannot assume that the project manager is too busy to train you and mentor you. And if they say they are, you are 100 million, billion, trillion, gazillion% at the wrong company because that person is a jerk monkey and you don't want to be dealing with them. They need to be mentoring and training you as a project manager. So ask more questions, more iterations, faster, and it will make all the difference. Number 2, this is a big one. Don't disappear. Let me go ahead and draw you as a project engineer. And I'm not being insulting, and I know you're gonna love my skills here, right? This is you at your computer and at your desk. It's pretty clear. That's a pretty good, come on, that's a pretty good sketch. Don't disappear. If you see that the PE is just always there, always typing behind emails, so don't disappear behind emails. Don't disappear behind busy work. Don't disappear behind isolation. Don't disappear behind introversion. Now, I'm not trying to be offensive here. A project engineer that disappears behind emails, busy work, isolation, and introversion will not get promoted. That is a fact. I don't care what they say. Nobody else is in charge of their career. Nobody else is in charge of digging in to find out how quality their work is. Nobody else is in charge of seeing their inherent value. It is up to this person to be transparent, to communicate, to volunteer for tasks, to be out in the mix, to build the team, and to be out with a craft, and to show their value. Do not disappear. The worst thing that can happen to a project engineer is being victim to emails and to then not show up. You should be stepping on your PM's toes. You should be out in the open. Number 3, like I said, step on the PM's toes. If you've got a PM and he or she is jamming out and doing these tasks and you're a PE, do not say, okay, these are my roles, I'm doing this the whole job. No, you're not. I want the PM's toes to hurt. Once you've got these in order, hey, PM, can I do this? Hey, PM, could I run the next OAC meeting? Hey, PM, can I do the next pay application? You get my point. You start stepping on here, let me draw this. Your leg shouldn't be here. This is a leg, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and just draw. This is what I want to draw. Step on that project manager's toes. I want your foot firmly on his toes or her toes. I need you to be taking on these responsibilities so that you're learning and growing and improving in your career. That is the key. Number 4, you cannot be a good project engineer unless you're supporting the field. When you're doing these assignments, when you're asking questions, make sure that you're always creating flow to the foreman. Everything that we do is to really enable the foreman. Oh, real quick, let me draw this. If you have a foreman, assistant supers, project superintendents, remember that these people have a say in your promotions in your career as well. Don't just silo over here like you're in a boys or a girls club. Get all of the information over here to the foreman to where the superintendent's like, That's my human over there. Like, they're doing a great job. Always make sure you're supporting the field. And remember, in the last video that we did, I talked to you about how the focus of a project engineer is not RFIs and submittals and change orders and payoffs, right? That's not the focus. The focus is, can you get a trade partner through the process of plan, build, finish? And that means the buyout meeting, the pre-mobilization meeting, the pre-construction or preparatory meeting, the first in place inspection, the follow-up inspection, and the final inspection. This is what we call the TP3, or the trade partner preparation process. Hensel Phelps calls this a 6-step process, but make sure that you're supporting the field, and you will be on your way to being an amazing project engineer and project manager, because your position does not exist outside of the need to support the craft. That's the perspective we have to get. And so number 5 is the trade partner preparation process. I want you as an individual to know how to do the buyout meetings properly. I want you to know how to queue up the trade partners in the pre-mobilization meeting. I want you to know how to run a pre-con or preparatory meeting to where we have the feature of work board, or we have the work package ready for the crews. I want you out in the field with the first portion of work. I want you doing follow-up inspections, final inspections, and reconcile any change orders and final payment. Be a master of this process and you'll be jamming. And then number 6, I say this to everybody who's doing a good job, make sure that you have a personal organization system. And that means that you have a leader standard work week planned out Monday through Friday, and you've got your personal life planned in there. You've got your leader standard work, the things that take care of you and your career. You've got meetings in there, and that's your standard work. And you also keep a to-do list. And every day when you start your day, you started out with a morning routine, and you pull in your leader standard work items. Oh my gosh, this is such a good video. It's time blocked properly. And then you pull in your most urgent to-do list items, and you plan your day. If you want to be a great project engineer, and listen to me, I hope you're sitting down, and you want to save 1 to 4 hours a day, time block your day. Make sure that between every activity you have a buffer that has to be followed. When you do something, let's say this meeting, plan the meeting, do the meeting, finish the meeting. Right then and there, one piece flow, and do not become a professional email typer. Emails for external communication only, stop it. You're going to ruin your career and become worthless if you become an email PE or an email PM. That's not how we run things. Emails take 4 times as much time as normal internal communication systems, or phone calls or texts, or a meeting out in the field. So keep a personal organization system and stay balanced. We have personal organization planners for project engineers, but I hope you've enjoyed these tips. We're going to put this into a Canva graphic for you and a blog post. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.